Hello everyone, this is Lamin Sane of LSWAT apps, and in today's video we're going to have a look at data types in PHP. So what are data types? Okay, so up until now we've just been dealing with strings. So I did something like echo and then some text. Move this up. Okay, so go back in the browser, refresh. As you can see, some text. So this thing here that I am echoing out, this thing in the double quotes or single quotes if you want, is called a string. So let's store that inside a variable. So let's just say variable or some string, and we say string. Okay, and the way we get the type of that variable is there's this thing called get type in PHP. So we'll say echo get type returns value, so we'll echo the value out. So let's just say some string. Okay, so back in our browser, when I refresh, you should see string here. Okay, so this is what being echoed out first. Sorry, this is some text, and then we're echoing out the type of this variable here. So let me just remove this so you can see it clearly. I'll refresh that. Okay, so next there's this other data type called Booleans. So a Boolean can only have two values, either true or false. So let's just say some Boolean equal to, the first value that a Boolean can have is true. So we'll echo that. Let me just say some Boolean. So go back in our browser and then refresh. As you can see, it has the value of 1. So when you echo a Boolean, it gives you the value of 1. So PHP interprets true as 1, and if we change this to false, it should be 0. So I changed some Boolean to false. Come back to the browser, refresh. As you can see, it's actually 0, but it just doesn't output anything because it's false. Okay, so those are the two values that you can have in a Boolean. And the third value you can have is integers. So let's just say some integer. And what I mean by integer is anything that is either, let's say, like 12 or minus 12. They're all integers. So let's just echo the type of that. So we'll say echo get type. So we want to get the type of some integer. Made a mistake, so rectify that. Go back to the browser, refresh. As you can see, string, and then we have integer here. So next, the data type that we want to look at is floats or doubles. It's the same as decimals, but it's officially called doubles in PHP. So let's say some double, and it comes in the form of like decimal place numbers. So we'll have 2.43. Let's echo the type of that. Say some doubles. And I go back to the browser, refresh. Apparently we have some error. So some doubles. Yep, I made a mistake. There's no S there. Go back to the browser, refresh. As you can see, double. Okay, there's a couple more data types that you want to have a look at. And the first one is an array. So even though we haven't got to arrays in depth, I'll just quickly brush on that. So an array is something that has some variable that has many other values. So let's say you have this, how you create an array. You just start with array and opening and closing brackets, and then you can have many values in there. So let's say 1, 2, 3. So these are the values in the array. So when we echo the type of that array, it's so get type on that, we should get array being output. So let's do that. As you can see, array has been added to the list here. So next, last but not the least, the value data type that you want to have a look at is an object. So let's say we have a class called my class. Even though we have not reached classes yet as well, that's in the area of object-oriented PHP, which we're not going to touch on this series. I'll create a separate series for that. So just bear with me. Let's say we create an instance of that class, say instance or object equal to new my class. So when you echo the type of that by using the get type function and then passing in the variable name, which is object in this case, go back to the browser, refresh, we will see object here. As you can see, that data type is an object. So those are the main types of objects or data types that you want to be concerned with in PHP. Usually you wouldn't need to be using this get type, but for some specific scenarios you might need it to know what type of data is coming back. And there's one special data type called null, which we'll get to in another video, but for now this should do. Okay, so I'll end this video here, and as usual, thanks for watching. I will see you soon. Cheers, bye bye.